Hi guys, Sherlock's Apprentice here, and aka Mike, and this is the final part of this little series of my Bible Decode and the Exodus story. This is where I try to bring everything together, the final part of the Exodus story, and see how I came up with my crazy ideas and I hope you enjoy the conclusion. As always, in this, I need to do this disclaimer, guys, because um, you know what it is. It is very important that I state from the beginning that I am no biblical scholar, and the information I am about to present in this series of presentations is just my personal observations and hypotheses. In no way am I trying to question anyone's beliefs or faiths in the scriptures or any of the religions. I know there are countless biblical scholars who know the history and Bible far better than I ever could. I am just trying to point out findings that I thought were interesting and maybe show possible alternative translations and meanings to the scriptures. I was brought up as a Roman Catholic and as a Christian. I truly believe in the Almighty Creator. Although I no longer see myself as a Roman Catholic, my connection with the Almighty has never been stronger than it is now since discovering the truth of where we live. Since then, I have tried to discover who is really running, controlling this world, and to do that, I found myself going back to the Bible. Oh, jump there. What's my computer doing? Doesn't. That's interesting. 3 times I had to go to that page. Okay. The devil himself is playing games. Okay, point 5. The final points on the Exodus. So, Baal Zaphon, Pi-Hahiroth. How would you say that? Pi-Hahiroth and Migdol. So, Exodus 14:2. They turned before Pi-Hahiroth between Migdol and the sea opposite Baal Zaphon. And in Numbers 33:7, from Etham, they turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, east of Baal Zaphon, and camped near Migdol. So on Bible Hub, here is uh, let's get my favorite laser pointer. Uh, Here is speak the sons of Israel, and they turned and camped before Pi-Hahiroth and between Migdol and the sea, opposite Baal Zaphon, before you camp by the sea. Numbers 33:7. And they moved from Etham and turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, which upon east of Baal Zaphon, and they camped near Migdol. So in Strong's Concordance, here's Baal Zaphon, meaning Baal of winter, a place in Egypt. Pi-Hahiroth, a place east border of Egypt. Migdol, a city in the northeast border of Egypt. So all 3 places are in Egypt. Little sarcasm there. Before we look at the locations of the next 3 Exodus locations, I noticed that Chorazin and Capernaum have moved location from maps from the 1500s. In these old maps, these 2 towns were either side of the Jordan River and were on the main trade route to Damascus, with Chorazin being on the east side of the River Jordan. Here on Google Earth, they are in very different locations today. Is it possible Chorazin has been renamed over time from a location with a similar name to Pi-Hahiroth? That was an initial idea I had. But here you can see Chorazin, Google Earth, Capernaum. You see these 2 locations where they are. Okay, now let's look at some older maps. So here's the Sea of Galilee. So they would have been here, but they are here, showing the River Jordan going a very different direction. And this old map, remember from 1659, Capernaum there, a city, and then a bridge, Chorazin, the other side of the River Jordan, the east side of the River Jordan. It's very clear, both of these two major cities. Look at the size of the picture they're showing of the settlements compared to other settlements. Map of the Holy Land. A very different orientation, but here's the Sea of Galilee. Here's, if you remember, Zaphon connecting Mediterranean, Sea of Galilee. Here's the River Jordan, Capernaum. There's even a bridge-looking structure, yes, between these two cities. This old map, again, you have to sort of get your bearings. So the Mare Mortum, Dead Sea, River Jordan, Sea of Galilee, Capernaum, Chorazin. They're being either side on the mouth of the River Jordan and either side. And I found this time and time again, this same location. But today, these two places are very different. I just found that an interesting thing to see how today's history can be changed. So, point 5a, Baal Zaphon, comprises of Baal, which means Lord, husband, owner, or the Canaanite name of for God. Zaphon means north. So Baal Zaphon was also the name of one of the Canaanite deities. Baal Zaphon was a town named after the deity and also the name of a mountain. Wikipedia states that Mount Zaphon was actually Mount Jabal Akra in northwest Syria. Not sure about that one, but let's go with it. I think this is not Baal Zaphon in the Exodus story. The highest city in Israel is Safed or Zafat. So here is Zaphon, meaning north. So this location is obviously in the north. Wikipedia, Baal Zaphon, was saying about meaning Lord or referencing Mount Zaphon. And Wikipedia references it to Jabal Akra. They are redirected from Mount Zaphon. Zaphon also comes from Zafar, which means lookout. Safed, sorry, location is next to the trade main route that I was talking earlier in the previous parts. The trade routes all meeting in the Jezreel Valley and all cupping up together past Nazareth, then up west of the Sea of Galilee, and they actually pass Safed. Safed is 930 meters above sea level, and it is not mentioned in the Bible as Safed or Zaphat. Therefore, during Exodus, Safed was a town with another name, just like we discovered regarding Nazareth. I think it was possibly called Baal Zaphon, meaning the Lord's lookout. So Safed, you can see here, northern district of Israel, 937 meters. It's the highest city in Galilee and in Israel, known as the capital of Galilee. Interestingly, legend has it Safad was founded by the son of Noah after the Great Flood. So there's other mentions here. Safad, not mentioned in the Bible. So obviously Safad, very famous as it was founded by the son of Noah, but it wasn't obviously called Safad as we know it today. So it's got another name. Using Google Earth to show the panoramic views from Safad, you can view northeast to Mount Hermon, east to the Golan Heights, southeast to the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan Valley, south and southwest to Nazareth and the Jezreel Valley. Its strategic location as a lookout station is undeniable. This is why I think it was called not Zaphon, Baal Zaphon, the Lord's Lookout. So I took some screenshots from Google Earth. So here is Safad today. And you can see from this point here, looking northwest, you can see Mount Hermon. And as you scroll round, you can see the whole of the Golan Heights. And as you look south, east, you can see the Sea of Galilee. So it is a great lookout. You can see a vast area of the whole of Palestine, northern Palestine. Pi-Hahiroth or Hahiroth is believed to be an Egyptian name, meaning the house of Horus. This is from the ancient Egyptian HWT-HR. The goddess Hathor was also called the house of Horus, with reference to her being the mother of Horus and her womb being the house. So here's a couple of references I found. Pi-Hahiroth, a state of the temple of the Wadja. So after Pi-Hahiroth, the Israelites camped before the fortress of Pi-Hahiroth. The origin of the name comes from the Egyptian, and it appears to be an extra biblical text. Extra biblical text from this papyrus, Anastasis 3. So scrolling down here, the hands bowed down with foliage and greenery of Pi-Hahiroth, the flax of the waters of Horus. So Hahiroth, with reference to Horus, it will come clear later, guys. Just bear with me. Hathor, the house of Horus. Hathor was an ancient goddess in Egyptian religion. Hathor's Egyptian name was HWTHRW. So Hathor's Egyptian name, they are linking with Pi-Hahiroth. Hathor had another name during the New Kingdom time, and that was Kadesh or Kadesh. And if you remember from the early parts of my presentation, I believe in the second part, we talk about the Battle of Kadesh. Where was Kadesh? So we know Kadesh was in this area. Here, the Egyptians adopted her iconography and came to regard her as an independent deity, Kadesh, who's also associated with Hathor. So Hathor and Kadesh, remember Hathor is the house of Horus, Kadesh, the same deity. Another reference, Katesh. In Egyptian mythology, Katesh is the name of one of the gods originally believed to be a Syrian deity. Katesh was an important form of Hathor, so there were other Hathors, but Kadesh was, oh, so I say Katesh or Kodesh was linked with Hathor. So Katesh in Wikipedia. Also Kodesh, Kadesh, Kadesh, Katesh, now with a K. Now we're starting to see where the Battle of Kadesh or Kadesh comes from. Was a goddess who was incorporated in the Egyptian in the late Bronze Age, which is the period we're talking. So then we have the Stele of Kadesh. Kadesh wearing the headdress of Hathor. This is to be believed to be Hathor's headdress. So there's a crossover between Hathor and Kadesh. So the name Pi-Hahiroth means house. Remember, Pi means house. Horus, Hahiroth, so house of Horus, which is reference to Hathor. Remember, I don't know if you remember from the earlier parts when we were looking at the trade routes, we came across the place Hazor, which is Hathor, also related to the name Kadesh or Kadesh, the Battle of Kadesh. All of these seem to be cross-referencing. So upon checking old maps again, can we find Kadesh or Kadesh and or Hazor east of Safad? And we can. So Safet, Hazor, and now this would be north, maybe. Interesting, there's Rama. I told you in the early parts 2, 3, when I was talking about 3, I think. Rama in the Naphtali area. Here is the Rama. There's Kadesh as well. So here's the Sea of Galilee. This is a blown up of this area. And they moved from Etham and they turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, which is east of Baal Zaphon. There's Baal Zaphon, Safet. There's Kadesh, Hathor. Other maps showing similar. Safet, east. So this is north because there's the Sea of Galilee. Meron waters, east, Kadesh of Naphtali. Sea of Galilee, Safet, Kadesh, Safet. Now, this is showing Hazor, which I actually think is possibly a different location. It's more north, but if you remember, Hazor was on the trade route. This is the trade route, I think, coming through here. Yes, but here, I think, is the Pi-Hahiroth. Today, there is a town called Hazor Hagalilit, or Hazor of Galilee, about 5 kilometers away, east-northeast of Safat, as seen on Google Map image below. From the old maps, we can see that in the past, this was Kadesh or Kadesh of Galilee, and I think it's possible the place of the famous battle of Kadesh. This is totally my idea, guys. Hazor Hagalit was the name of the biblical Hazor and was on the main trade route from Egypt to Syria. So, Hazor Hagalit, Hazor of Galilee, ancient Hazor, is named after the biblical city of Hazor, according to Wikipedia. Google Maps, the Safed, that's directly east, that's east-northeast, and a city or town, Hazor Hagalit. So there is your Hathor. Now, just interestingly, there's Hazor Hagalit overlooking the Hula Valley to Mount Hermon. Point 5C, Migdol. And they moved from Ethem, turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, which is east of Baal Zaphon, and they camped near Migdol. Migdol was the easiest of the locations to find on my proposed Exodus route because today there is still a place called Migdol next to the Sea of Galilee. But Migdol means tower, and there are many places in Palestine called Migdol. So here, Strong's Migdol means tower. You can even do it in Google Translate. Migdol, MGDL, and there you have being tower. So my interpretation of the route from the camp at the edge of the wilderness is Moses was intending to continue on to the main trade route towards Pi-Hahiroth or Hazor, or it was called then, east of Baal Zaphon, which was today Safed. But it was instructed to turn back towards Migdol, camp by the sea. There's Safed, there's Hazor, and there's Migdol. Turn back to Migdol. But this was probably because the Egyptians were there already at Pi-Hahiroth, i.e. Kadesh, what was called the Battle of Kadesh, having directly traveled northwards on the way of the Philistines, or maybe even they may have traded directly on the route of the patriarchs. That would have been quicker than the way of the wilderness, remember? So I think the Pharaoh overtook them because he knew where they were heading. They were heading to out of Egypt. Out of Egypt at that time was north, the safe area where Moses had been before. And then God turned them to tell them to turn back. At Migdol, they were trapped and had to cross the Red Sea, i.e. the Reed Sea, the Kinneret Sea, the Sea of Galilee. So here they would have tried to go. God said, turn back, and camp here between Migdol and the sea. The final stage of the Exodus is approximately 40 Mongol Earth. So from Etham, traveling north along the trade route with the intention to go to Damascus and Mount Hermon, and then being told to turn back. At what point they turn back here, obviously no one knows. Yes. But then camp at Migdol. Obviously, we have no idea where or when the Hebrews turned back from Pi-Hahiroth and headed back towards Migdol and camped by the sea. The Bible states that it was at night time when they camped by the sea. So they turned back, and then the Pharaoh and his army obviously chased them. That is what I believe. So here is my final proposed route of the Exodus from Egypt, Pi-Ramesses. So on the map on the left, we can see the land of Goshen, the way of the Philistines. God told them not to go. So don't go this way to here, although it was shorter. Go this way to the way of the wilderness of Judah. Camp at Succoth, which is here in the Bible. Then they continued to the wilderness or the pastures of the Jezreel Valley. They, at them. From at them, which is here, a more detailed map, they continued on the trade route. And then east of Baal Zaphon, they turned back from Pi-Hahiroth, Hazor, which is on the trade route. They were still continuing on the trade route. Turned back to Migdol, to where they were to cross the Red Sea, the Sea of Galilee, the Sea of Reeds. So I really hope you have enjoyed my ideas on this alternative proposal for Moses and the Exodus from Egypt. I started this project in August 2023, and as of today, we are now in May 2024. And for me, it's been very interesting discovering the history of the Holy Land. So here's a little epilogue to back up my ideas. After the Hebrews crossed the Reed Sea, they traveled into the wilderness of Shur. Is Shur short for Syria? Shur apparently means wall, and the mountain range of Hermon certainly creates a wall, and the Lebanese mountains creating a wall of Syria. After 3 days in the wilderness of Shur, they came to the waters of Mara. At the Yor spring, at the beginning of the Jordan River, is a place called Mara, about 60 miles, 3 days journey from the west bank of the Sea of Galilee. Today, there are places called Mara al-Lawz, Mara Mubarak, Mara al-Bashik, all in this area, west of Mount Hermon. I do love coincidences. Mar al-Hamam. Mar. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little series I did. It was a a longer journey than I anticipated, but I enjoyed doing it, and I am going to continue with more uh, ana analyzing the Bible, because I think the Bible. I think everyone can agree there's so much corruption that's happened in the Bible. It is God's word. I truly believe it because He's pointed me to do this. That's why I've done it. Um, but the adversary, Satan, the devil, has obviously corrupted the word, and I think it's our job to try and find as much of the truth as we can. So until next time, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.